for BBD, Fast and Furious. What's we got today, this great Monday morning? Interesting piece of news. Disengagement was on China's terms. Indian interests surrendered, says Congress. I think they may have some reality in it though, right folks? Obviously, the playbook has essentially been written by the Congress, but it seems like this government is kind of fallen into a trap and wonders why. I have a feeling that it's got to do with a new sheriff in town, and there seems to be a lot to do with domestic politics, like it's in the case of now our guys are heading towards Russia to make up with them again, kind of slippery slope. China, all these three, what do they have in common? The two absolutely have no democratic DNA at all, as has been said. And India seems to be going down the slippery slope with all these democracy issues related to a thriving democracy. Now, I think it's basically birds of the same weather flocking together. That is tragic and a tragic mistake. However, here we go. Why do I say that? What do we have here? 22-year-old activist Disha Ravi arrested for sharing toolkit. Now, what is this toolkit? This toolkit does not promote violence, folks. And a 22-year-old girl coming on the back of another youngster girl, Miss Kaur, who was also put behind bars, who's just been released on bail and kept in jail for a month. Shame on the lower courts, folks. Shame on lower court. Shame on the government. Government of Haryana. What does government of Haryana have in common with government of Centre? Both of the same feather, folks. And as it says, support pours in for Ravi across quarters. Delhi police arrests 22-year-old, that's basically. Calls her key to foreign hand. Hey, man, this is the CIA. She's representing the CIA. Who knows, man? I mean, and that's what PC Chidambaram rightly says. India on shaky foundations. Shame on us if 22-year-old youngster is a threat to Indian democracy, folks, or to the Indian nation, folks. It's a shame on all of us. Delhi police especially. What do we have? Friends and strangers speak up for Disha, a selfless activist who shuns limelight. Don't want to comment on, says activist mom. I think, and there's somebody says, stupid to think tools for conspiracy. It really, if you think it's a conspiracy, I guess the CBI, the NIA really doesn't have much to go on these days, folks. And as Ashish Kothari writes, a toolkit for change. State must not defame youth standing with farmers. Its future they are fighting for. What does he say? Youth action throughout history has shaken the status quo. In recent times, young people have been the heart of citizen mobilization across the world against authoritarian regimes in the Arab world and Chile, global finance and corporate impunity in the Occupy movement, racism in the US and elsewhere, mining and pipeline projects in North and South America, and the climate crisis with networks like Friday for Future in India. They have mobilized against communalism and religious hatred, abrogation of democratic rights by the state, and environmental violations. Folks, the youth is critical for this government or this party to keep on its side, because that's the future. You know, they're relying on uneducated and underemployed youth of a particular community, and that absolutely does not, is not a harbinger of a good future for this country, liberal-minded future, right? And what does Sukanta Chaudhary writes? On love and laughter, are these set to become scarce commodities in the country, and truth a casualty? Okay. This designed rupture of the community pitting citizen against citizen is about to culminate in a breathtaking scheme to control cyber volunteers, to report anti-national posts on social media. How long before the exercise is extended to talk, including private conversation? Not very long. So now you can understand why Shringla is running away to Russia, why we are making up with China. This could be the point of folks of what is to come within the country. What else do we have here? Right. Congress won't allow CAA in Assam. Rahul at poll rally. But like Rahul's missed the boat, right? Because it's now no longer about CAA in Assam, because everybody, especially the BJP, is understood, as he says, Himanta, CAA non-issue, Ajmal enemy of Assam. But there goes your relationships with Bangladesh, folks. Trying times for India. But the CAA has now moved from CAA after COVID, wax drive ends in, says Shah in Bengal. So, Bengal on one side, Assam on the other side, both going out after the minority community, because here he says Ajmal is the enemy of Assam. Here they are talking about CAA, again about the same thing. Guess who's the Guspet here, folks? You got it, man. The Bangladeshi. What else do we have here? Dicey times again, divisive politics in Delhi. VHP issues 3-day ultimatum to police to make arrests. AAP links murder to Jai Shri Ram. Rinku was targeted, killing Madhya Pradesh Assembly Pro Tem Speaker. What does Madhya Pradesh have to do with Delhi anyway, folks? But this is what shows the color of this party and this government, and is a risk for all of us. India, and because things like this is happening, how does Ravi Shankar Prasad think India to be a hub for foreign arbitrators? You cannot make a hub without a thriving liberal environment. Just like China can't afford to can hardly become a hub of anything international. Same thing if India continues to go this route like this. Wilson, proof planting has Andhra reference. Can you imagine? Elgar case, accused have questioned authenticity of evidence since 2019, folks. This is about all these urban Naxalites, so-called urban Naxalwadis, as defined by this government. It is now found that the proof that the government was conveniently relying on has been planted. And there is no second guess to know, and for all right-thinking people to figure out who would have possibly had anything to gain from planting this, folks. Born thing. And look, while that's happening, spare cricket from bigotry. Wasim Jafar's story is a reflection of the prejudice that is affecting all spheres. Wasim Jafar, a former Indian Test cricketer and the highest run scorer in Ranji Trophy, resigned as a coach of Uttarakhand team earlier this week, alleging that officials had pushed undeserving players. And what's happened there? Uttarakhand administration and the folks in power have been suggesting that Wasim Jafar has been favoring the minority community. And what a shame. And here we go. Frogs in cricket. Well, by maligning Jafar, Uttarakhand cricket officials hurt proud legacy of a game that brings a diverse country together. Don't infect cricket, please, says Mohammad Kaif. Cricket has set a great example. Excellence, equal opportunity and freedom of choice have ruled. So what's happening now, folks, in India is just difficult to believe. And you know that you're going down the slippery slope. When Dalit converts to Christianity, Islam won't get quota, Prasad cites. I'm not sure the rest of the world is really going to be happy, especially the new sheriff in town. And then UP not to prosecute, 6 booked for anti-CAA stir. We really can't become an international center for anything but junk at this point of time, folks. Cheers.